Okay, we're going to do it this way. Episode 13, here we are, and here we go. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. I hope that wherever you are is doing good for you, and I hope wherever you are is good. Gotta do that right. Episode 13. I hope that wherever you are is good. I hope wherever you are is good for you. No, man, I could really got to go back and reread those, or rehear them, because I totally forgot it. Anyways, today we are doing episode 13, Redux, as the first one went a little haywire, and I'm doing it now. So, today I'd like for it to be the idea that it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be done. A lot of people will stop themselves because they don't get the ideal. I always say there's a difference between the ideal and the idea. And that idea is this, that you that we stop ourselves because we don't feel as though we're going to achieve the ideal. And so it's like, well, why do I want to do it if I don't get that out of it? And that approach stops you from going forward because you're looking at it always as this crux where if this doesn't happen, I don't do this. And if that doesn't happen, I won't do this. And so on and so forth. And so you tie yourself down to not doing and giving yourself reasons for why it's okay not to do. So there's this other idea that I used to talk about when I was a street performer, and I would street perform a lot, like every day. And that was that I had something called the walk. And the walk was the going to, from wherever you were staying, to the actual pitch where you're going to go do your show. And at any point in time, from the point that you're starting of where, like you're leaving wherever hotel or friend's house or whatever you're staying at, and you're going towards the pitch, the mental process that you have is what's going to end up being your day. And I know it seems simple enough, but it's like if you're walking down the street and you're headed towards this thing, this job, that you don't really have to do. No owner above you. No one, saying this, that, or the other about who or when you have to be there. And you know what? I'm doing it right now. No questions asked. I'm bringing you on right now. You're going to be my episode 13. Oh my God. Yes. I hope that you say yes. Joel Caliphari, one of the most interesting, intelligent people I've met in my life. Please join. But as I was saying, the difference between the ideal and the idea. And many times we get hung up on what we believe it should be. And I like to say as well that expectations breed sadness. When you expect something without communicating it, it breeds sadness. Oh my God. Yes. Okay, so today, my friends, I bring to you one of the most intelligent, insane, creative, beautiful, absolutely raw human beings I've ever met in my entire life. And I've never met him in person. We've only met through this thing called the interwebs. But every time he goes live, I know that I'm about to learn something pretty heavy. And for instance, I think it was yesterday I was on a podcast and I shared the information that Joel had shared on his live feed about a Talmudic idea in which if somebody is burrowing under the ground to your house, that you have the right to kill them. And I correlated that to this idea that I talk about, which is boundaries and a fence. And if somebody is burrowing under your fence, then they're not coming to you in the correct manner of coming to the gate of your fence where you allow them into your fence, which is different than somebody coming and trying to burrow and take away from you or steal from you. So anyways, just that idea alone is one of the gems that you get from this kid if you follow him around. And also, I think, and I may be wrong here, but you recently did a live feed in which you were talking about perception, and you were talking about people that you might look at that are what you considered negative, but then that person from their point of view and from their way of looking at the world may not see what their actions are as negative. And both of you both have value, and both of you are both right. And yet at the same time, there is still this idea of trying to be holy in your forgiveness, and like at a level, like I think you called it like a level 110, because it's so hard, to get there. And that was also another thing. There's so much that you give me, my friend, that I listen to, and I'm just like, good God, these are just golden pieces that people need to hear. So with all of that and that introduction, my friend Joel, please tell us who you are, where you're from, what you're about, where you're living now. Give us the info.
Yeah, bud. Thanks so much. I'm chilling in the Galilee, bro. I'm in Spot. It's a mountainous region in the north of Israel. And I just float around pretty much, taking it moment by moment. I haven't worked at a real job in a long time. What am I doing? I guess I'm battling my inner demons, I don't know. In my mind, I think I should be an Orthodox Jew. In practice, I'm the farthest thing from it, So I'm constantly trying to bridge that gap between my mind and my body,
I have a statement that someone said, it's from a movie, and I know it's so cheesy, but the idea was beautiful. And I think it fits what you're thinking about right now. And the guy in the movie was about to die. And someone was there and was going to save him and asked him, "Are you a good man?" And his response was, "I don't know." And he wakes up and he's saved, and they continues had surgery, and obviously he's been taken care of. And he asked the man a couple months later, "Why did you save me?" And he goes, "Do you remember the question I asked you?" And he goes, "Yeah, you asked me if I was a good man. And do you remember what you said?" He goes, "I said, I don't know." And he goes, "Exactly. That's why I saved you. Because a good man wouldn't say that he's a good man. A good man is always in struggle for himself to become a better man." And so the ultimateness in who you are is that you forgive yourself for being human, which is amazing. You forgive yourself for having your addictions and your problems and your things, because you're like, "Yo, dude, I'm just here, bro, and I'm just existing, and these are the issues and problems, and I may not have an outlet. And right now, this is my outlet, and here I am raw on the internet, and I'm just going to be me, and if you don't like it, go fuck yourself, and if you do, send me some money, bitches, because I need more beers and cigarettes." And there's a rawness that comes from that says, accept me for who I am. And if you do accept me for who I am, there are some amazing things I can share with you. And yeah, I might be the crazy guy on the street. And yeah, I might be this, that, or the other. But yeah, I'm also very much a scholar in the area of these things. Why? Because I've been doing it since I was 6 years old. I've been going at it forever. I'm doing my best to try and create the best around me. And okay, I'm faltering. I'm a young person with a wife and kid, and in a world that I don't understand, that's troubling me. Bro, I think you're amazing. I think you're amazing. the fact that you even go live, the fact that you even talk about the stuff, the fact that you have fights and battles with people about whether they're doing good or not, and all of it, man. I think it's fucking, you know, as childlike as it is in its non-stoicism, there's also the other aspect of it that says it's somebody who is saying, I love you all and I feel pain based on the actions of your world, and I'm trying to describe that to you. I don't care if it doesn't come out the right way. Here I am telling you this hurts. And I understand that, right? I think there's also the aspect of saying, maybe, because it happens with me as well, right? Maybe part of it is a fundamental needing to grow up on some level, but yet at the same time, doing so takes away from the, I want to call it source, or I want to call it place on the inside that is so connected. So in essence, like the more that you become connected to Babylon, the less that you're connected to this thing called energy, source, form, Hashem, blah, 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 you want to name it, whatever you want to name it. And so you're in this battle with yourself, with society, without wanting to be, as you just want to be this free human being that just loves everyone around and just says, yo, dude, let me go study the Torah, and let me go study the Zohar and the Talmud and the Gematria and all the good stuff that's there, because that gets me going. At least I believe it does. When I see you passionately talking about it, that's what I think. I go, oh man, he really likes this. So I don't know. You tell me if I'm right or wrong or what.
Yeah, spot on, bro.
So I guess my next question for you is like, what are you trying to develop now? Are you at a place now where you're saying, I want to develop my social media more so I can get more followers, I can get more money, I can send this idea out to people more? Or are you more in a place where you don't care and you're more like in a place where you're like, I'm just going to allow it?
The latter, not because I don't want to expand, but because where I'm at right now, I'm still settling into it, you know? I'm still settling into it. Like, in my whole life is like that. Like, my living situation, friendships, everything feels like I'm just settling into it, you know?
I have this feeling always, and I just recently said it to my friend who I'm staying with here in New Orleans. I said, you know, I don't unpack. And he's like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, I never unpack my bags because I know that I'm going to have to move pretty soon.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, that's just because of the way you live, bro. If you were to get a job, you could have your own place and you could live in your own spot and you could do this all. And I'm like, yeah, but then I would end up like you, moving from one house to the other, carrying boxes of stuff that I don't read and see and do and touch and teach. And I just have them in boxes, and then I unpack it, and then I put it on a wall for a month or two, and then I have to move again. Or even 2 or 3 years. What is that? I go, you think that's life?
Right.
That's not life. That's hoarding, but just collectively hoarding, you know? So I don't get that. And then again, I also don't understand not having anything, because that doesn't work for me either. That not having anything and being broke and on the side of the road and asking for money sucks dick as well. So it's like, there's got to be a kind of like Siddhartha middle of the road for each one of us, you know? There's some people who are totally cool with being on the side of the road and not needing anything. You know, there's people in India that do it every day and smiling from ear to ear and just happy to be existing. So, you know, but I feel because you are on the internet and because you do speak so openly about things, that you're not a person on the side of the road who doesn't want to not say anything and not do anything and not be part of the system. You want to be part of it. I think you're just struggling on how to connect to it.
Yeah.
I personally think you have a great following, and you have a bunch of people who care very much about you and see your struggles, both, spiritually, mentally, physically, I guess you could say, being poor or being homeless or whatever. At one point, tell me if I'm wrong, you were with your wife and the kids and everything in Spot. Are you still with your wife and everybody? And are you on a journey again?
I'm with my wife and child.
Oh, okay. But you're still in a journey stage right now. You're like having a moment.
I mean, I have a home that's mine.
Yeah.
Why I don't feel so settled, like I said, I don't know. I've been through the last few months, like, just a lot of change, or like I had my hopes set on something and I had all this excitement and then got, it dwindled and I'm left without it. So I still feel like there's something to reach to, there's still something that I'm settling into. I don't know.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I hear you 100%. Do you feel, and this is a very deep question, okay? This is a very heavy question I'm about to ask. Do you have, or do you feel that at times you have Messiah complex? And I only
I
ask
don't
this.
know
Listen, hold
how
on.
to answer that.
Okay, yeah, I know it's hard to answer that because we're all Messiah, right? We're all Mashiach.
Exactly, that's what I want to say. Like, everyone should have the Messiah complex.
I know you want to say that, but what I'm trying to get at is that there's a very deep level to it, in which people who go to the Holy Land, I went through it when I was there. I thought I was David. I thought I was supposed to help people. I thought I went crazy. I mean, full on. I started getting full on Haredi and wanting to wash my hands before I woke up and wanting to be super holy and not do drugs. And I was angry at myself and hurting myself when I did smoke a pot or some hashish or, any of it, right? And so that's not healthy to me, right? That hurts. I'm not in love. I'm being beaten, and I'm being beaten by my own love, of my own want to love, and I don't feel that that's healthy. And I also want for you to find your happiness, and I feel that the best for you is to do exactly what you do, which is be you and be awesomely you, because I think I connected to you 2 or 3 years ago, right? I haven't stopped connecting to you, buddy. And I've told you before, I've met a lot of weird people in my life, and that's why I'm trying to do this thing that I'm doing now, is because I have so many weird people in my life that are fucking awesome. Like, awesome on a level where other people would be like, yo, dude, this guy's fucking crazy. I thought Paul was crazy. No, this guy's fucking. And then I bring somebody else on, and I'm like, no, this is even better, It's a continuation of nonstop bringing on people who are absolutely amazing human beings. And the ultimate crux of this thing that I'm trying to get at is that we're all amazing. Each absolute one of us are individually absolutely mind-boggling amazing. And it's our own pain, our own societal pressure that keeps us from being us. And it's when we're lucky enough, like I'm lucky right now, to have a place to live for free, to have my dog and my motorcycle and some clothes and some food, and I don't need anything else, for me to be able to wake up every morning, and I know this sounds stupid, but for me to wake up every morning and do what I'm doing right now brings me such amounts of fulfillment, because I feel like it's not my show. It's not me being, it's like, yo, dude, check this guy out. Go follow him. Do this, do that. It's like, it brings me joy to bring other people light. And that's exactly what you do, Joel. It's what you do for the people who are living in Babylon when you, and sometimes, granted, you're younger, you have more testosterone, you're dealing with mental and physical changes within your body that are fucking really rough, especially in your 20s to your 30s and your teens to your 30s. It's wacky tobacco in here, bro, especially if you have some form of intelligence and some form of heart. It's wacky tobacco in here, dude. So I get it. And I get you deeply. I get you deeply. At least I feel I do. And so, with all of that being said, don't stop being you. Don't stop being honest and free and real and a Talmudic scholar. And don't stop being free, because it's the thing that people pay you for. Believe it or not, they are giving you money not to give you cigarettes, not to give you alcohol, not to give you, and not even for your wisdom that you may carry. Has nothing to do with any of that, dude. It has to do with wanting to see you okay, period. And it's where I'm coming from right now the same way. Like, I just want to see you okay. I want other people to see you. And when they see you, they don't see some kid who's just like, la, 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 la. It's like, yo, dude, stop. We need to listen to what this kid's saying, because I know it sounds, but like, listen, because there's nuggets in this talk. And this talk is not just like tertiary, hey guys, let's go clean the planet. It's like, no, dude, clean yourself so we can clean each other, so we can get so we can move on. And people don't get that. And a lot of people don't understand that. And it's, once again, the reason I'm trying to do this thing, this live feed. So, again, where are you? How do you feel? Where are you coming from? Tell me.
Yeah, bro, I'm just trying to get to a place where I know I'm living in alignment with what I believe, you know?
Have you, because you said that you're still using, have you thought of Iboga? Ibogaine?
In the past, I have considered it. Now, I haven't thought about it. Just I don't even know where I would find it. But for sure, bro, if you were here with a dose and you knew how to dose me, I'd definitely take it.
So I have family in Israel that is very much in alignment with where you're at, and they do a lot of ceremonies in Israel. Specifically, if you're looking for a certain thing, they're gonna find it for you. And I would love to connect you with that family and where they're living. I think it's in Nachlaot, and so and they have a farm out there, and they even have a YouTube channel where they make music, and they're all dressed in white. They're all like super ayahuasca children, like hardcore, bro. You know, and I feel like more like ayahuasca. I feel more like Iboga instead of ayahuasca for you. Because I feel like you've already had your mental journeys, you've already had your trips and all that stuff, but I think Iboga comes to you as a father instead of a mother, and ayahuasca is the mother of earth, and Iboga is the father, where it doesn't give you any allowances, if you will, if that makes sense. Like, all of the reasons for why you did it really just slip away really quickly, and you go, oh fuck, like I can't, like I just can't, I just can't. And after that, you just can't, because you understand your fundamental self. You understand the beauty of the bright, beautiful, prophetic star that's within you, if you will. And you're like, oh my God, I can never poison that again. It's like you break the cycle stupidly, really quickly. And so I think that maybe that could be your path. I don't know. I don't know your vessel. I don't know your story deeply, because I'm not in your shoes, And so it's definitely something for you to listen. I went to a beautiful ceremony in Sfat, as a matter of fact. I have family in Sfat as well that do amazing, beautiful ceremonies that and I don't, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful when I say I share one want for you and not another, as far as journeys are concerned. You do you, buddy. You take your journeys and do whatever journey you want to take. But as a person who's been on many different types of journeys, I would ask for you to take that one because it's the one that really, like I said, it takes away all the reasoning. Like, oh, I did it because of this, or I did it because of that, or she did this to me, or that to me, or any of that. It just goes blip, and it just goes blip, and you're like, oh, it has nothing to do with any of those things. You know what I mean? And it's just this massive realization. And there's people who are crackheads, who are heroin addicts, and we're talking 20, 30 years. There's a very, if you want to watch some of his stuff, Dr. Gabor, Gabor, just look him up on YouTube, dude. And he's like super fundamental with the like pushing the ibogaine. There's people who've been like massive heroin addicts for 20, 30 years. They go to 1 week of doing, I think 2 or 3 ceremonies of iboga. Never again. Never again. Like that heavy, that deep. You know what I mean? So, ayahuasca's more for like connecting to the journey. Like, I would say do iboga first, clean yourself out, take 3 months of cleanliness, and then come back to iboga and be like, who am I? Give me a direction in my space, or even mushrooms, you know, and really connect to the mushrooms on a deep, deep level, out in the middle of the woods, you know, inside of a tent or something where you're like, you know, you're safe, you're not going to get hit by bugs. I don't know, whatever. And you can really deeply connect to earth and connect to this idea of who am I? What am I supposed to be for everyone else? Because that's what I did. And that's how this comes to be. Like I did a 6-hour journey in depression to realize I was holding on to nothing. Because it's nothing. None of the stuff that we're holding on to, Joel, the problems, the worries, none of it's real. You know that better than I do. But we hold on, buddy. We hold on because we start believing that we're alive. We start believing that we had a wife and children. We start believing these things. And yes, we did. Yes, they're real. Because what? Because we're experiencing them. But also on another level, we're not here. We're not physical. We're not real. And we're not experiencing this thing. We're kind of watching it. Right?
Yeah, I hear that.
And so it's a powerful journey to be in a place like you're in and you want to be in, like I want to be in, which is to just want to be an experiencer experiencing, instead of trying to be something for the experience, you know, like, oh, let me dance, oh, let me do tricks, oh, let me sing, let me be a politician. Like, fuck me, bro, relax, dude. I just want to fucking chill out and just be here. I just want to enjoy the sunset. Can I enjoy the sunset without the fucking bullshit, please? Like, that's where I come from, right? And that's usually where I'm at. And when somebody else gets mad at me because I'm not doing enough, I just go, okay, I'll go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's like I don't need the anger. I just need the support. That's all I need. And I can make really good content. And I can make really good art. And I can make really good conversations. How? How do I know this? Because it's what I've been fucking doing for 20, 30 years of my life. And I'm really good at it. And it's not the magic tricks, and it's not the this, and it's not the other. It's me wanting to know more about somebody else and what inspires me about them. And that's my gift. And that's what I learned my gift was. It was never about me. And it should never have been about me and my wants and my platitudes of beliefs. Fuck that, dude. I should just be happy enough to be able to go, You know what I mean? And we forget to do that, dude. We forget to do that. And it's hurtful and painful. And then we get caught up and we go to McDonald's and someone didn't put mayonnaise on our burger and we flip out. You know? And so I want this to be a remembrance of what this is supposed to be. Because the more that we use this, the less that we do this. And I see it around me, right? The more that we do this, I see the less that we do this. I see the more that we do this. And we're like praying to our own demigods in our phones. And that hurts. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it's what's happening. It's like the big overall, it's moving in that direction. I can't stop it. You can't stop it. I don't think if everybody on the planet tried to stop it, it would stop it. It wouldn't. Because it's part of the process. It's part of the wavelength that we're on. It's part of the roller coaster that we're on. Part of the thing that we're not supposed to like, that's supposed to help us learn about ourselves. And to how to learn to have acceptance to whatever the fuck is coming. And yet we hold on. We're like, no, I want it to be this way. It has to be. Hold on, folks. It's got to be this way. No, it doesn't. It's got to be whatever it is. I don't get to choose. I am what I am. I will be what I will be. It's really up to us. It's up to us to create it. And yet we, once again, we get caught up and we think we know. I think I know shit. But I know that in thinking that I know, I definitely don't fucking know. Because that's the moment that you're like, that's the moment you fucked up. You know what I mean? When you're like, hey guys, follow me. Like to where? To where? Follow you to where? Follow you to off the cliff? Because no matter which direction we go, we're falling off a cliff. There is an end to the story. At least in this iteration of the I recognize, just like we're talking about the recognition of the societal structure and the power and the heaviness and all that bullshit that make me want to be a certain person or make someone else do a certain kind of lifestyle. I see people coming from this very angry work mentality. And there's a good thing and a bad thing to it, right? So it's almost like being a farmer or doing like some kind of hard outdoor labor. Not easy work. Like, not easy, bro. Working as an air conditioning guy or electrician in someone's roof, 140 degrees. Go kill yourself. I can't do it. I mean, I'm sure I could, but I don't want to. Right? And I don't have responsibility, so I have no need to. Oh, you should be responsible for yourself, Paul. You should care for yourself. My ego doesn't give a fuck. Sorry. I mean, I do on some level. I like to take showers every once in a while, every 2 or 3 days. I like to eat. I mean, that's where my ego lies, in that kind of respect. I try to wipe it the fuck out, but guess what? I didn't, because I'm still making live videos. But then the live videos come from this other place, which is like, oh, I'm begging people to understand this idea. I'm begging people to go out and be the love that they want to be. I want them to go be their love. And that's why I'm begging you, don't be anything else other than Yoel Caliphari. Please, just be you. Because you're powerful, my friend. You really are. And yes, granted, you have some issues sometimes, ups and downs. We all fucking have ups and downs, bro. I have ups and downs. They have ups and downs. So at least that gives them some place to say, hey, look, even the guy who's saying he's super free is still having ups and downs and going crazy. Well, yeah, I'm going fucking crazy because of you fuckers. It's not me. You guys think I'm crazy. No, bro, I'm crazy about you. Get it? Like and that's the truth. That is the absolute truth. Those people who go out into the world, who become social workers, who become therapists, who become politicians even, they don't go, or even police officers, or firefighters, anybody who works for others, that goes out of their way to do something for others. They don't start saying, hey, how do I manipulate? They don't start going, when do I pull my gun out? Every day, all the time? Sure. They don't do that. It doesn't start from that place. It starts from the exact same place that we're coming from, and then it turns into fanaticism, just like you and I have turned into. Like, we are fanaticists of our own ideology. And hence, because of that fanaticism, we have placed ourselves into a certain place in our own lives. Now, is that a good thing? Is it a bad thing? It's neither. It doesn't fucking matter. What matters is that we're making some kind of change. What matters is that we're bringing in some kind of light. And then the next thing that matters is to be okay with where you are on the platform of things that you're doing. So on that light, let's call it the Christmas lights of life. And you're on the string of life, and you're this Christmas light. You're not this one, you're not that one on the hierarchy. You're just this Christmas light. So it doesn't matter if you're this or that, or just zoom in, and then you're in the middle. You're not at the top, you're not at the bottom. You're right where you're supposed to be. A dart. Bloop. But if you start to have thinking of like, oh, I'm supposed to be David Copperfield for me, right? Or I'm a David Blaine, and I'm not, and I'm only performing in the street, and that makes me angry on the inside, right? Then I'm foregoing every audience member that I've ever had that came up to me, that gave me $100 bill or a $2 bill or a $1 bill or whatever bill, or a hug because they didn't have money. Or the person that I was able to take to breakfast who was homeless, who helped me during my show, that I then take every day, give them $20 and feed them. All of those things are gone because I had wants, because I had beliefs of who I thought I was supposed to be. This egotistical fucking behavior that is chasing everybody else's behavior. It's the same chase. We're all chasing the same thing. We're like sperm going towards an egg, and everybody else's energy reflects and makes us think, oh shit, maybe I'm supposed to have Gucci and Prada and wear the Nike and be like Kanye West and have a girlfriend who wears a condom outfit. I don't know, I make fun of that outfit because it's hilarious, but whatever. You know what I mean? So it's like, I understand how people can get so caught up. I can understand even how somebody as blessed as you can be caught up. And I say blessed as you because you are very intelligent. You have had many years of Torah, of deeping, if even trying to go even deeper than the Torah, right? You're like digging in there and trying to find the answers. And you were always that kid, right? Why and why and why? And the rabbis were like, bro, stop it. And you were like, no, I need to know more. And I don't care what you say, Rabbi. I believe what I'm going to find out. And you dug through it, you know? And many people don't do that. A lot of people don't do that because they get caught up in what they believe they're supposed to do. And then, unfortunately, there's people who do the same thing that you did and end up becoming fanatics in a different manner that I feel is much heavier and much more than your peaceful, loving, hey, I'm angry because you guys aren't being peaceful, loving. This is more like, we're going to control you and tell you what to do, and you must do this, and you must do that, and shave your head. It's like, whoa, dude, I get it. And yet at the same time, over here, I'm having the same conversation. Whoa, I get it. But then there's also these two woes are creating massive vibrations. So yes, fanaticism is not the way to go. Everything in moderation, including moderation. Should we have jobs? Should we work out? Should we eat better? Sure. Do we want to have better lives? Yes. And so, in turn, all of those things matter. But does that mean I'm going to also beat myself up today and tomorrow and the next day that I'm not at that ultimate perfect? No, I'm going to once again zoom into the middle and find that I have shot a perfect dart every day when I woke up already. And yeah, I can wake up with a little bit of heaviness on my shoulder and say, oh man, and that conversation that I had yesterday, the day before, now it's rearing its head up my asshole and it's fucking making me depressed. I can feel it. I know it's coming. I could start a live feed and it goes absolutely wrong and I get depressed and I go, fuck, I'm depressed. I'm not going to do my live feed today. Fuck you, people. But instead, what did I do? I said, no, it didn't work out. That's okay. Start again. Push play. And then by chance and chance alone, bloop, you pop in. I'm like, yeah, you know? It gives me this energy. It gives me this thing to express joy to. And that's what I know. I know that that's what you do. Especially when you're in in a good space. When you're in a good space and you have a place to stay and you have food and you have no family worries, you're a fucking fountain of fucking like, and it's no anger, there's no stress, there's no you should be or I should be, or it's none of that. It's just, hey guys, let me tell you this thing that I read and it's this awesome story about this thing, and you turn into the nerd that you are. And that's cool. There's nothing wrong with being a nerd. I think nerdism is like the coolest thing because it means that you spent a lot of time believing in something that you liked. That's what nerdism is. There's nothing wrong with, like, if you go right now to Slash, the guy from Guns N' Roses, the one with the top hat and the long hair, and you were to walk up to him with like a 1942 some odd, Fender Strat, I don't know, whatever guitar, and you were to open it up in front of him, bro, you would watch a child blow up in front of you. You'd be like, oh, dude, is that a 1943 blah, 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 the guitar with the pickups and the thing with, oh my God, is this the first one with the wah-wah pad? Oh, this is so cool. And then you go, oh, and by the way, I bought it so I could give it to you because I knew you'd do this. And then that person's going to be like, wait, what, you bought me a guitar? Why? Well, because all the music you've created brought me so much joy. I went out of my way to find something, bought a VIP ticket, bought the thing just so I could come to you and do this. Because you did that already for me. How often do we do that in this life, Joel? We don't. We don't. I don't see it very often where you find people telling that story. And that's the story that recently I've been saying, this is what we need to connect to. The story of believing in the journey of your own dream. And I've been talking about the movie, the Gran Turismo movie, because it's so like prevalent and relevant of our time. Guy creates a video game 25 years ago, says, I want to make it the best race car video game ever. 10 years, 15 years later, some kid who's 7 years old plays the video game. They make a competition so that you can race real cars. He wins, and he's still a race car driver to this day. With his dad in the background going, you'll never race cars. You're only playing video games, kid. You know? But there's something there, right? The belief of that dream. That's a crazy dream to have. For anyone to be like, oh, I'm going to be a race car driver after playing video games. Like, that's a crazy dream to have, bro. And yet it happened, and it became real. And not for lack or for forgiving from his father's sake. It came from his own self. Right? That belief of wanting to be or trying to help or inspiration. I don't know what word it is or what thing it is. Chachma Bina Das kind of ideology thing, like first it's the thing and then the spark and then you know what I mean? Like that idea that it comes from that place, that unexplainable thing. It's not my learned info. It's this other thing that I want to, and it's nonstop. It's like my heartbeat, Anyways, I don't know. Joel, the journey is much more exciting than the destination, Raymond Height says. I hope I said that correctly, Raymond. Yeah, well, I mean, and I think that's the conversation we're having, Raymond, is that we're talking about really being an experiencer instead of trying to create something, instead of trying to be something, just being. Very much just being and just trying to just not even weirdly not even try and create any waves. Like even though we create waves, that's the last action we're looking to be. I think it's some of the greatest sages of our times always talk about the less that we can leave of our mark, the better on some level when it comes to creating pain, trauma, and drama in others' lives. And we also know that almost any action you take will not be the right action, and then in turn, you will create trauma, drama, no matter where you go. And so running away and living in a cave with your friend and your son sounds like an optional way of doing it. Let's go write a book without paper. 13 years later, walking out of a cave with lasers coming out of your eyes and people kneeling to the ground, begging for the forgiveness that they didn't do the right thing, and that's definitely not the right way either, right? Because it doesn't say somewhere in that statement afterwards, it says, well, if you thought you learned so much and you thought you became so connected, then why are people crying around you? Shouldn't they be loving and laughing? And these tears shouldn't be tears of sadness. They should be tears of joy when they see you and hang out with you instead of these lasers that come out of your eyes. You should go back to that cave and go figure it out because you didn't get it right. And so this basically the conversation we're having, man. It's the conversation you and I are having, very connected souls, very much wanting for others to wake up, yet at the same time, we're still asleep. Why? Because we're here. You see what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with being here. I think being here is actually part of the premise of the whole entirety of the whole thing, is that we're here because we forgot what it was like to be this and have these things, where a guy like Paul Burke will come in and be like, yo, what is going on in here? I don't understand this conversation at all. And that's okay. Why? Because his cup doesn't fit our cup. And that's nothing against him. That's nothing against the way he works and the way that he is and the person that he is and the way that he fucks around or doesn't fuck around or does not. Has nothing to do with any of it. You see what I'm getting at? Right? If this is maybe just a conversation for you and me to have, for the world to watch one day, and they all could be like, what the fuck is going on here, bro? And yet there's one or two or three people who are like, yo, there's some fucking shit going on in here, bro. And that's okay. Right? Because we're not everybody's cup of tea. I'm not everybody's Coca-Cola or Sprite or orange drink or orange juice or water, or I'm not. I am my own vessel of awesomeness. And you can either come and get some, or you cannot get some. And either way, I wish you well. Because to come from any other place is just ridiculous. To come from a place of anger, you remember, you're so... Oh, man, fuck. I lost. They won. I don't want to be that guy. I don't need to be that guy. I just want to be the guy who says, I love you, wake up, be inspired, please go do something you love, don't work a regular job unless you're regular job person, and if you are, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with being that, but if you do have something that you're keeping in your pocket that you've kept there for a while, please try and start doing that, even if it's only on the weekends, even if it's only once in a blue moon. Go do that thing. Because I promise you, doing that thing is going to bring you joy. That thing is going to bring you vibrations within your life. Like I was saying at the beginning of this conversation, or at the beginning of this live feed, was I've been having cool conversations with people about this idea, and the more that I have this conversation about this idea, the more that other people around me have this conversation about this idea. And the more that I see other people doing it around me, I see other people creating their own live feeds that they were not doing it before I started pushing this again. And that makes me say, oh yes, you know it's possible. You too can reach out to one or two people, and those one or two people are going to make their own videos, and let's become our own atomic bomb of positive, creative awesomeness around the world. It doesn't matter if only one person watches, if nobody watches, if just the person listening to the conversation has a click of a moment. Bro, popcorn popping everywhere. Let's keep moving. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. Tell me something, Joel. Give me a story. Tell me something that you've learned recently. Some gematria or something.
I don't know. You said it, even if just one person hears it, it's worthwhile if they click. The sages do say that, if you save one person, it's like you save the whole world,
Right. Yeah, but I feel like you and I were meant to save people. And I don't mean it like in this like Messiah sense, weirdness, like blah, blah, blah. Like I'm not trying to be weird. But I feel like there's people in the world that have a certain task. And I feel like I'm one of those people. I almost like know it intuitively that I'm just a person that has a task here. And that task is to not be normal, to not fit in, to not be what everybody else is, because that doesn't feel right to me. When I go down that route, when I go down the route of being famous or being on stage or being this character that is not me, it makes me not want to be in that thing anymore. And then I don't want to do that thing anymore. And then that makes me sad. And then I go, oh shit, I just went the wrong direction. And everybody wants me to go that direction, but that direction does not make me feel good. Now this direction, I like this, and this makes me feel good, and it makes me feel inspired, and it makes me feel this, it makes me feel that, and I'm like, if I have to go do that, I'm going to go do that to make me feel happy, because I'm not necessarily here for anybody else but me, in the sense that, once again, I don't have responsibilities. I only have a dog and a motorcycle and some clothes. That's it. So I don't have those responsibilities that maybe you have as a father who has, like, you have to take care of your family in some way, shape, or form, and do something for them in some way, shape, or form, so that you don't feel depressed and angry with yourself. And if that takes, doing some kind of something just to do it, so be it. You know what I mean? But that's based on choices that you might have had prior to an awakening as well. And so that could be also part of the journey. Like maybe you were supposed to have that situation first, to create the speed bump towards your thing, because for you it would have been so easy. I mean, from what I'm saying, it would have been really easy if you didn't have kids and a wife. No offense to your wife and kids, because I think that they're amazing. That's not what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at is that the journey that you're on is pain, right? We're all on a journey of pain. And it's all our perceptual value of that journey on whether we enjoy the pain or don't enjoy the pain. And then there's some that get really into enjoying the pain, and then it gets a little scary. Once again, fanaticism. And then there's other people who don't want any pain. And then, that's another thing. And that's also fanaticism. Like I'm a fanatic for pot, bro. I am. I'll admit it any day of the week. I've said it for years. I smoke pot. Do I do anything else? No. I don't drink. Caffeine, nicotine, but like hard drugs? Fuck no. You know what I mean? That stuff. I'm not into it. I'm all about plant medicines. I'm all about connecting to myself, connecting to the universe through me, and understanding that ideology, but then also understanding that I'm living on this rock, and I'm living on this weird experiment of sorts, because it feels like an experiment. It feels like I don't know, like it doesn't feel real. It's too real to be real on some level. It's too perfect to be what it is. And so it has to, like, I feel, and the more that we learn about it, the more we realize that we're not even here. Like, we know that 99.9% of the universe doesn't even exist. Yeah. And everything that's existing within the 13.5 billion light years is less than 1% of the entirety of the universe. And that means everything that we exist within is just like the smallest of the smallest of the small. Well, it's oof, less than dust of the dust of the dust of the dust of the dust. Not even that. Farts in the wind. Not even that. Because, that comes with particles. But you know what I'm getting at, right? I mean, really, if we think about it, when you break it down like that, it's like, bro, we are like minuscule. Yet at the same time, there's something that's very powerful about what we are and the journeys that we're all having. There's something very powerful about those journeys. They're not surface level. They are very deep. And they have, I mean, think about each person on the planet, each problem, every small minutia, the foods, the animals, the insects, the leaves, the grass, oh my Lord, bro, my land to the mathematical calculation involved on just that alone. And we haven't even gotten off the planet. We haven't even gotten into the core. And we haven't even oh my God, get out of here, please, get out of here. You know what I mean? So just that, and then 8.5 billion lives that are happening all at the same time. Like, that's math. That's hardcore math. And then you could get into like the whole religious aspect of things, and then like how Jewish people and the connection to Judaism and the connection to the energies and the vibrations and the understandings, and it's really weird, bro. The whole thing's very weird, bro. And I don't think people want to have these conversations nowadays. They run from these, man. It's more about like what's happening with the Kardashians. And did you find out that this guy just got canceled because he's being honest about stuff on the internet? You know what I mean? This guy's being shadow banned, bro. Did you hear what just happened with what's his name? What's this guy's name, dude? Russell Brand? Russell Brand, the comedian who's been doing his own show for like the last 4 or 5 years. He got super sober, and all of his stuff is like, yeah, he pushed for people to use hydrochloroquine, and he was totally against the mandates and the mask wearing, and he was totally against everything. And now he's completely right. And now that he's right, he's putting out more videos about how the agenda's like super, he's turned into the new age version of Alex Jones. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's pretty intense. What can I tell you? They're trying to kick him off the internet because they don't like that he's telling stuff that's real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just unfortunately the way things are running nowadays. They don't want us to have real conversations. They want us to go live in fake worlds so that they can control the money that we use, because they've already been controlling the money that we've been using for so long. And now they're just finding a new way to control the money and also how to control us on some level. They want to genetically modify us. They want to do all these things. And yet on some level, I'm totally about it. Because I feel on weird levels, maybe that's the next evolutionary moment for us, that we're supposed to become like half robot, half human being, symbiotic, weird creatures. Who knows? Like, I don't know. Or maybe we're perfect just the way we are and we should all just meditate and it turns off. I don't know. And is that what we want? Do we want it to turn off? Because I kind of like the sun on my skin. and the wind in my hair and the kisses that I get, or when my mom tells me she's proud. Maybe, and none of it's real.
Right.
Like, and I said this a while ago, and none of it's real, right? And that's the trippy part. That at the end of this, we come out of some machine and we're just like, oh my God, this was so good. I can't wait to go back in there. And then when you go back in there, you're like, hey, what's this machine? Wow, this is creepy. I don't like it in here. This is weird. Get me out, get me out, get me out. And then you get out and you're like, oh, fuck, that was so good. Let me go back in there. What the fuck is this? This is weird. This is creepy. This gorgeous cycle, you know? I think we're just in that we're just in that phase. And maybe we're at the phase where we start to recognize the phase. And that helps us all wake up. And maybe that's part of the process. In the same way that 600,000 Jews could not accept the word of God, and the souls popped out of their bodies 3 different times, right, at Sinai. And Moses is like, yo, chill. These people can't take your shit, bro. It's too much. and you know, that same ideology, but the opposite of it, where God does speak and we all do accept. And we all go, oh my God, I am God. Oh, we are God. Oh, we are. Ding, 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 ding. You know, and it happens, right? But it can't happen until we get to conscious light. Like, we're all consciously aware of being the light that is creation itself. And until we get there, we won't know. But we can't get there unless we're all consciously connected to the thing and blah, you know, and that sounds very cyborgian to me. You know what I mean? On some level, from this point of view, this third dimensional view of the thing, when I look at a hologram that's creating other holograms and it creates holograms upon holograms, I'm like, that's a little scary, buddy. I don't know if that sounds like God to me, you know. You know, and so it's like, it's hard to try and grab to that and say, well, that's God too, ? Because you can't say it is God, right? God is not anything. God's not the lighter. God's not the joint. God's not my cup. But God is everything. But God is not any one thing. Something like that, right?
Right. Even the Kabbalistic attributes, like we would say, Mimale Kolmin, Visaviv Kolmin, he fills all the worlds and surrounds all worlds. Even that, I don't think a Kabbalist would tell you is the essence of creator. It's maybe just like the highest definition that we can give, but we still wouldn't, even that, I don't think we would say is the creator's essence.
Now, when you say that, for people who don't understand what you mean, if I may, because I have a very rudimentary understanding of this, but there's 216 names of God. Is that right? 216?
No, I don't know, Paul.
No, I'm asking. Usually it's known that it's 200 and something names of God. Am I right or wrong?
There's, what's 72 times 3? Is that what is that something?
Know.
Or
I believe
yeah,
so.
216. Yeah, that's 216, right. Bro. Is that what you said? You said 216?
Right, there's 216 names of God, but we do this only because each name represents a different type of philosophical understanding of the representation of something that we can't understand. And hence, there's that many names for the representation of this thing that we're calling, quote unquote, God. Is that what you're saying when you say that?
Yeah, and that even the highest thing above any names, just the fact that we say he permeates all of existence. The word that's used is worlds, but I think it just means existence, but whatever it means. But it permeates all of existence and surrounds all of existence. It's meant to like tell you that it's above your thought. Like every place, even a conceptual place, is going to be permeated and surrounded by Hashem, meaning your thought, it's never going to be able to grasp it. But yeah, I'm saying even that kind of definition of Hashem. It's not his essence,
Right.
you know.
Right, of course not.
Because
Right.
why did I bring that up? Because you're saying like everything is Hashem, but nothing is Hashem. No one thing is Hashem. So I'm saying yes, even the names we have for him, even higher than names, whatever we can say about him, you'll never be able to point and say that's it, you know.
Right. I think there's also another something. It says the 11 faces or the 11 corners. Like every time you reach a corner, you turn, you think you're about to get, and then you get to another corner, and you go down another corner, and no matter how many times you try, you're never really gonna see it. You might get some kind of woo, but you won't see it. You know, you might make other people feel it through your art or through your music or through whatever, but even that will only be just a whiff in the wind, right? And I think that's the thing that we all are like antennas for. I know it's like literally, like we literally have like these internal antennas for these things, and those are the stories that we are like, oh wow, that really touched me, and that's like your version, your antennas, core, if you will. I don't know. And so, like, yeah, wherever you feel a story, we all know empathy. We all know the story of challenging ourselves to become something better. All of those things. Well, I think we know those intrinsically. And so when we see that around us, we want to push that up. We want to build that because we're impressed by that behavior. Because many times we don't see it in ourselves for whatever reason. Inspiration. It's inspiration.
Yeah.
So, what are your plans, man? Today, tomorrow, the next day?
Yo, I can't plan that far ahead. I don't know. Today.
All right. Well, what are your plans here in the next little bit?
I'm just walking around the old city, bro. I'm gonna see what's up, see who's around.
How far away are you from Rabbi Shimon Baruch Chai's resting space?
So it would take me probably about 2.5 hours if I didn't stop and I walked straight. 3 hours if I went slow, and this is through the hiking trails down the valley. There's also roads, but it's actually longer to walk along the road. It's much quicker just to go down the valley through the hiking trails.
Right. Yeah, I actually, like I said, I've stayed there a couple times. It's really beautiful. I went there for Lag BaOmer. It was dope. It was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. We where they have it, there's a grave site, and on the edge of the grave site, it's a cliff that looks down, and from there, that's where we camped. And the whole time, we would wake up in the middle of the night, and we would just look down at this campfire and all these Jews, like, going around. And it was just like this, like, absolutely mind-boggling thing that music never stopped, the food never stopped, it was just like, it was like going to a rave, but with super Haredi Jews, like, it was intense, dude. It was very intense.
Yeah, it's like Uman in Rosh Hashanah is the same vibe,
Yeah, I don't know. I've never done Uman. I've never done Uman. I've only heard.
Bro, it's the same exact vibe, same people, same thing, bro. Free food everywhere, music everywhere. Everyone's happy, bro. If you need a joint, like, you're gonna get it.
Yeah, man,
I'm telling you,
like, that's the like, the hippie Jew is like the coolest Jew ever, bro. As far as I'm concerned, man. Any Jew that I've ever met that's like a techno hippie Jew that's just like living his life nomadically like we always have, and just being like chill. And that's another thing, talk about being nomadic and then having our own country, and then also talking about like that line that says it takes a generation to forget. You know what I mean? And that's why we stayed 40 years in the desert, supposedly, because it takes a generation for those people to forget what it was like to be slaves, and yet how many hundreds, if not thousands of years were we in dispersion, and then all of a sudden we have a country and everybody just thinks it's going to work out. Like, yeah, dude, we got some issues and some problems here. We're going to have to work out. Brothers and sisters called Palestinians over here. We got wars going on over there. We got lots of people who don't like us over there. So this country thing's going to be a little harder than we thought, okay? And we got politicians who want money over here, and people who don't want to sit down after they've been inside for a while. Super connected to the Mossad. I'm not talking about anybody in general. I'm just saying. You know what I mean? It's not easy, bro. It's like the same thing with Bitcoin. All the people who are like super Bitcoin holders, they're like, oh, I love the Bitcoin. I'll never let it go. And then everybody else is like, yo, Bitcoin's stupid, bro. It's not real. And then it's like the guy who had like Bitcoin that was worth nothing. He bought like $100 worth of it, and now he's worth like, $250 bajillion. And it's at $16,000. He's like, yeah, you're right. It's totally worth nothing. It's funny to me, man. It's funny. That's what's fun. It's that kind of stuff. I find, to turn it around even more, I find like you and me are like those kind of people now. We're the ones who are like, yo, dude, Bitcoin, dude, you have no idea, bro. Like, yo, dude, God, you have no idea, bro. Like, yo, I'm tripping on this thing called God, bro. You have no idea, bro. And you gotta connect, bro. But it's like you don't connect by connecting, but you don't, but you do. And then by doing it, you live and you thing, inspiration, weird thing, bro. It's cool. Get in. We're like, bro, dude, I don't want to be like you.
Yeah.
It's so perfect. It's so, oh, look at that, dude. Oh, zoom in. What a beautiful sun. Is that sunset? That's sunset. Yeah, sunset.
Yeah, bro. I just missed the ball. I mean, I saw it, but I turned my camera around too late.
Fine.
Like it looks like the ball's still there, but it's not. It's just the aura.
It's gorgeous. What day is it there? Wednesday?
Tuesday.
It's Tuesday for you too?
6:28 p.m. 6:28 p.m. Well, I guess technically, like Jewishly, it would be Wednesday now. We begin Wednesday right now as the sunset.
Yeah, wait, no, but that doesn't count. It's Tuesday. We're still living. So how many hours apart are we, man? All right, it's 10:30 in the morning. There, it's 6. So we're like 8, 9 hours apart, something like that.
Wait, what time zone are you on? Because I'm at
New York. I'm in New Orleans, Louisiana, right now. It's 10:30 in the morning. CST. That's Central Standard Time.
Okay, so you're 8 hours behind me. You're 1 hour behind New York.
1 hour. 1 hour ahead of New York? No, behind New York. Yes, behind New York. Yes.
Right. Cool. So yeah,
what's that,
you have
like
an
8
8-hour
hours,
time
right?
difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not always the same, by the way, because we do our daylight savings here differently than they do it in the U.S. So sometimes I'm 7 hours ahead of New York.
Right.
And sometimes 8 or 6. I don't know. It changes by an hour.
Hey, so question: Are you attempting to try and do like a GoFundMe or a Patreon or classes online that people could take from you? Because I think that if you were to start doing like a evergreen webinar where basically you have like a bunch of courses that you've already talked about, you go and stand in front of a whiteboard for 1 or 2 days and give off, a bunch of information, a bunch of classes, record 2 or 3 hours a day or an hour a day. And by the end of 10 days, bro, you're going to have a ton of info. And then you can easily just use that to sell that to people. And then people who want to have like one-on-ones with you, like Brusa, like maybe some people you could be a digital Havrusa online. People would pay for that. I don't know. I'm just saying there's little things that you could do like that I think that using the skill sets of the things that you already have, plus the use of the internet, there's a lot of people who would like to spend time with you on the phone, I think, and pick your brain on how you think of this, that, or the other. You've already created that kind of vibe around you. Like, I've seen other people say, like, oh my God, yeah, I never looked at it from that point of view, or I haven't heard this from. I've seen people say it. So it's already there, and if that's the case, then run to that, dude. Run towards you being the help for others that you already are, but get paid for it.
Right.
And it's not a bad thing to get paid for things that you do, right? There's nothing wrong with, there's nothing wrong with getting paid. Shit.
Right. I'm not against money transfers.
Right.
I do hate paywalls, though. I hate going onto a website when it's like it's behind a paywall. I know a lot of people that do it are doing it because that's the only business model they know, or they like. Sometimes you can reach out to them. I can't afford it, bro, and they'll give it to you for free anyway. So, but still, the whole idea, like I'm saying, the people doing it, I don't have anything against. But the idea of a paywall, I hate it, bro. I think that if you have anything that's worth something, then the person who's going to receive it is going to appreciate it and make sure to pay you. And if they don't, then they weren't the one that you're looking for. You know what I mean? If someone gets what you gave them, and even if they admit to you it's worth $1,000, but they don't have the good heart and appreciation to actually give you $1,000 or give you the value of that, then, like they're not the person you should be transferring between you and them,
So in your form of radical giving, it's also a boundary, because in doing so, it allows other people to show their true self in how they accept or don't accept the information, and how they respect or don't respect the information that you've given them. And so in turn, radical giving is also the same way as a radical litmus test of somebody.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then still, same thing. Create a website, joelcaliphari.com, super cheap. I think it's, I don't know, like for a whole entire year, it was like $75. I can show you a couple websites where you can do it. And then create a evergreen webinar where it's you talking. Hi, my name's Joel, and I'm going to talk about crazy shit for the next hour and a half. And if you like what I'm talking about, you can get more of this crazy stuff on my live feeds, and here's my YouTube channel. And if you want to donate, here's a donate button. And I have every type of donate there is. And I usually charge this much for the class. If you can't afford that, then give this much. If you can afford more and you want to give more than the class is worth because somehow I touched you and it was amazing, then that's also great. Thank you for the tzedakah. Let's keep moving forward. And then you could go that route as well. There's nothing wrong with that. But you're not doing that, is all I'm saying.
Right.
And there's only 2 or 3 steps for you to do that. But if you'd like help with it, I would love to share the links with you and whatever, so that you can help you build that platform for yourself. Because, again, I feel as though you could make money doing that. Look, my friend, he started doing this thing called OWL, OWWLL, and it's video talks with people, and people are charging up to $100 an hour just to talk on the phone. And I don't think there's any Torah scholars up in that mofo, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's like $10 to become a person where you can accept phone calls and stuff. But I think if you were to go in there and you were to like just pop off and pay the $10 for the month, dude, you'd start getting people calling you, asking you all kinds of weird questions, and you charge, I don't know, $5 for 10 minutes, and people start lining up and scheduling calls with you, and you're just picking up calls and making $5 every 10 minutes. Bro, that's, not bad. $50 an hour ain't bad, And then you could charge $50 for an hour for someone when they call. or whatever it is, it's $35, right? But whatever, it's still $35 an hour that you're not making now. And it's also doing the thing that you like, which I think is a good way to go about it. And you can also charge more or less, and you can also give the calls away for free and tell the person to just donate. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So you don't have to go through that quote-unquote paywall that you don't like.
Right.
I just don't want that to be the excuse, is all I'm saying. You know, like, hey, I didn't do it because of the paywall. No, man, fuck that reasoning. Do it because you have something, you have a gift that you need to share.
Right. Also, all the things that you're talking about, I kind of do have just through my Facebook. It's just not set up. It's not set up in a way where you can recognize very easily. Oh, here's classes, here's donate. But I do have information on my Facebook on how to give me money. I do have a lot of information that people may find helpful or inspirational or whatever, thought-provoking. You know what I mean? All the stuff in a way is on my Facebook. It's just Facebook is not organized like that.
Right.
I hear the benefit of having like an actual.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You take, like, look, there's a friend of mine. His name is Vin Clancy, and he has a Substack. Is a platform, and you could use Substack for all of your writings that you've done. You could use YouTube for all the videos that you've done on Facebook. So you have a place where you can platform them and a place where you can categorize them. And say, here is, class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're all free. It's all there. Here's my, Patreon. Create a Patreon page and create 4 or 5 different types of ways of paying you monthly. $1, $5, $10, $100, $1,000, and somebody will do it. Some Jew out there will be like, I like this kid. Boop. I mean, what's $12,000 to a multimillionaire Jew? Nothing, dude. Nothing. It's like a dinner with his family on the weekends in Disney. Think about it, bro. It's the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, we're living in $1 trillion world, man. People still think we're living in millionaire world, bro. We're living in $1 trillion world. And if you do the math, it's this, right? This is really trippy. But if you do the math, there's 8 billion people on the earth. Out of that 8 billion, only half of them have the access to the internet. Only half of that half actually have money that they can spend monthly up to $50 a month. And you only need $10, and you only need 100,000 people, and you only need them to buy once. And you have a number close to 1.5 billion people that you only need 100,000 of them to buy one product from you at $10 a piece, and you've made $1 million that year. Not great that it's $1 million in sales minus taxes, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so you only made $100,000 to $200,000, but you made $100,000 to $200,000 that year doing it that way. You don't need a huge audience to make a good, comfortable living on the internet. You just have to have the want. And I think you have the want so that you don't have to be uncomfortable. Because I feel like that's what happens with you. You get uncomfortable because of wanting to take care of things that you feel like you can't take care of. When I feel like you can, 100%. And more so than you think. So that's what I would do if I were you. What would you do if you were me?
That's a loaded question, bro.
It's okay. I gave you a loaded answer.
I would say I don't know what I would do if I were you, but what I want to tell you as advice, $100 an hour advice, I'd tell you, you got to figure out what makes you happy, and I don't mean long-term happy. I mean immediate, short-term pleasure. Like, what's the thing that, like, sometimes you're down, sometimes you're up. So what's those 3 main things or 1 main thing, whatever? What's that thing that's keeping you up and down? And I'd say just pump it full force, even against all doctors' advice, against everyone, even if they say it's not healthy that you're drinking that much coffee. I would say, well, it doesn't matter. I'm focusing only on my mental health and being happy, and I need 7 cups of coffee in a row to do that. So that's what I'm doing, and I don't care what it does to my heart. I don't care what it does to my veins. I'm taking care of my mental health, you know?
So wait, so I mean, yes and no, maybe? Because some of it see, I understand one side of what you're saying, which is like, oh, dude, I could very much well go and just drink kava juice and orange peel extract of the thing, and I get it. Like, you're being super healthy and then you die the next day, and the whole entire time you were drinking coffee and extracts that you didn't like, and you were unhappy, and you're like, this fucking sucks. And you didn't even get any of the happiness that you were supposed to have in the long term anyways, whereas you could have had a fucking cigarette and a fucking coffee and been happy because that's what you've been doing for whatever amount of time, and you were like, fuck it, ride the Kali Yuga. I'll ride the wave and just be a fucking surfer and say fuck it. That's my thing. And I see nothing wrong with either one. Honestly. I don't hold judgment, man, in the sense of like, I mean, I really don't. I don't hold judgment. I let people be themselves. I only get like technical when technical needs to get there. You know what I mean? But other than that, like, go do you? Like, question mark? Because I don't know what you're about to go do. But, like, I want you to be good and have a great time and enjoy your time on this journey and this thing that we're on, this floating rock within the universe. And hopefully somewhere along the way you get this full urge to want to do something for other people. That's it. You know, hopefully that happens, you know? Because I think that's what we're here to do. I could be wrong. I'm not sure. Maybe it is just to smoke cigarettes and drink coffee and tell everybody to go fuck themselves. I'm being me. I'm taking care of my own mental health. All y'all can go fuck yourself. I got coffee and weed, bitches. Coffee and weed.
That's right.
Hey, listen. There's something to that because for the last 13 days, I have been absolutely happy out of my fucking brain. I feel like I'm doing something super positive. Even with my coffee and weed, I haven't really. I've had an undertow, which says this is really cool, and I want to keep this going. How do I keep this going? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so that's different than having or wanting to do for some other reason. Now I want to do only because I want to make it longer, because I want to make this happen more. And that's selfish in my own way, sure, of course, but we're all selfish in our own ways.
Right.
All right, Joel. Tell people where they can find you, your social medias, what your next project may be, even though you don't plan for projects. Yeah, if somebody wants to send you something or find out more about your ideas and
all on my Facebook. Yeah, you go right to my click on the picture. It's going to say Paul David Carpenter was live with Yoel. Fingerer-Caliphari.
Yeah, but what
you just
about
click on
people
that
who see this on YouTube? Because I'm posting this on other platforms as well.
Sweet.
So
Sweet. Didn't know that. Facebook.com/talkwithyoel. Talk with, like you're talking with, right? Talk with, and YOEL.
YOEL. Okay, cool. Awesome. And that's the same thing as going to your straight to your page anyways on Facebook.
Yep.
Do you have any other social medias that you use? Twitter, Instagram?
Nope.
No. And
I have accounts, but they're I'm not posting there, and I don't check messages there, you know.
Right.
Like.
Okay. So it's just Facebook or nothing. If you don't use Facebook, you can't get in touch with Joe.
You can use the same Talk with Yoel to hit me on Gmail. talkwithyoel@gmail.com.
So you can also just email you. So there is another platform. So we can either get you on Facebook Live to watch your videos and your content, but if you want to just talk to you, we can go to your Gmail account. And but you're not reposting the stuff that you do from Facebook onto YouTube. Okay, we're gonna get you to start doing that at the very least. At the very least. Okay, so with that, my friend,
Cool.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you for coming on today. I'm so thankful that I know you. I'm so thankful that you are who you are, and I appreciate you deeply. Oh, What about Cash Apps and Instagram? I mean, and all of those. Do you have all of those too?
I do.
And
I mean,
can you? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do this. Send me at the end of this thing a little bio of who you are, all of your social medias, and every single one of your paywall type platforms, i.e., Cash App or blah 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 blah, whatever. And I'll put all of this into the description. And when I repost it on Instagram, it'll have it all there, so anybody who sees this can go up or down to push the button and send you at least $5 so that you can hang out in Israel a little longer, chilling, drinking beer, smoking cigarettes, and having some weed and taking care of your wife and your kids. And with that, thank you again. Honestly, thank you for everything. Thank you for being my friend, and thank you for being here.
likewise, Paul. Thank you so much.
I'll see you later, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Had every single episode so far who I've brought somebody on. I mean, what else could you want? Really? You know? All right, so with that, for those of you who are here, thank you so much for watching. If you got all the way to this point, I truly, truly thank you from the bottom of my heart. It really means something. It's trippy and it's cool and I really like it. So thank you. Lastly, let's do this. Please go out of the world and do something nice for somebody else. And if you can't, do something nice for yourself. It does start with you. Number 2, don't get caught up in all the crazy stuff that's going on in this world, because if you do, then you end up like whoopity poopy. And number 3, if you would not mind, please, from you to me and everyone else, like, share, subscribe, send this out to somebody who likes to see it or wants to see it. And with that, me and Moose say goodbye, and we'll see you all on the other side.